Hi guys, this is Sean from ACET Education, and we're going to do part 2 today for CELPIP since I know you guys have been waiting for this, so let's get it done today. Usually, Monday is our vocabulary day. We learn 50 new words every week and improve our vocabulary, so we'll just put it off till tomorrow. We'll upload another video tomorrow with that lesson. For today, let's talk about the 4 parts of CELPIP speaking 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to talk about the words and sentences you can use very effectively no matter what kind of question you get, and that should really help boost your level and give you a great score. With these templates, I can confidently say you should be getting a 10 or more if you apply them correctly, and of course, if your grammar and vocabulary is good on top of that. Let's go with speaking question number 5. That is the comparison question, right? So you're given 2 topics. You're supposed to compare. Let's assume that you have 2 options. Either you're going to go to work in a taxi or you're going to buy a car, for example. So the problem with this part is you're given so many points. You're supposed to cover all those points in 1 minute, which is really not easy. Like 1 out of 10 people is able to do that correctly. The reason is you're not only supposed to cover your points, the ones you like, but also contradict the other side and compare. Okay, so I mentioned this in my old template as well. There's the first sentence you say. If you can say that effectively, you can cover multiple points very quickly, and that will help you cover the rest later on as well. So the first sentence I have here, again, keeping that in mind, I have constructed that in an informal way and in a formal way, so no matter what situation you get, you can use it effectively. So let's say that this situation is informal. Okay, so you're a friend and you are talking. Your friend wants you to go in a taxi. You prefer a car. Okay, it's going to start something like this. Hey, Jenny, whoever your friend is. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? So I think in one of my previous templates, I mentioned how's life, I think in part 1 or so. That's why now I'm keeping it different, showing examiners different things. So now I'm going to say, how's it going? And guys, if you haven't seen part 1, please check out the previous video just before this. Part 1 covers speaking 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so, sorry. Moving on with part 5. The question is, how's it going? How's it going? 3 words. Hey Jenny, how's it going? Listen, your idea about whatever, your idea about the taxi sounds super. Super, okay? We're trying to be informal. However, if you consider whatever and whatever, so now you have to put 2 points about your car. So if you consider the cost saving and the convenience, my option of taking a car, so my option of whatever, insert text here. My option of whatever has more of that than the other option, than the taxi. Okay, so I'm assuming that the cost and the convenience, I'm not making this up, it's probably mentioned in my option. When I see the features of the car, probably the paper has it written cost saving and convenience, which I would assume a car would have. So that's why I said, however, if you consider cost saving and convenience, my option of the car has that. So whatever your options are, whatever your features are, you can put it there instead of cost or convenience. So let me repeat this. Informal. Hey Jenny, how's it going? Listen, your idea about whatever sounds super. However, if you consider whatever and whatever, my option of whatever has more of that than your option. Okay, so again, the first sentence gives you a strong beginning. You have a good very informal introduction, and you can cover many points this way. So now the rest of the minute will be easier because you have less points to do now. The same thing we do in the formal version of this. So we say hello. Now it's formal, right? So hello, Bob. And if you're outside Canada, and if you're doing this in Canada, we are very informal. Well, not informal, but in Canada, you guys might have noticed if you're already here, is that we don't use Mr. or Sir with our bosses. So we address them with their names. So directly, you don't have to say hello, Mr. Bob. You can if you want to, but just go with hello, Bob. Again, we're trying to be natural. We're trying to talk the way usual people talk, normal people talk, native people talk. So, hello, Bob. Hope you are well. All right, so that's where we go formal. We don't say How's it going? Hi, hello, Bob. Hope you are well. If you don't mind. Okay, so by the way, this is an office situation, right? Because it's formal. So it's no longer the car and taxi. Okay, continuing. So, hello, Bob. Hope you are well. If you don't mind, some of us at the office were concerned regarding the whatever and whatever. Insert 2 points here from the table, from the picture. Okay, so again, hello, Bob. How are you? Hello, Bob. Hope you are well. If you don't mind, some of us at the office were concerned regarding the whatever and whatever involved with whatever. Okay, so here you put involved with your option, whatever that option is. Next sentence is going to be, wouldn't you find whatever and whatever, 2 points, wouldn't you find whatever and whatever in my idea more conducive to our office needs? It's like, wouldn't you find these and these features more suitable to the office needs? We're saying conducive, it's more fancy. CONDUCIVE. Okay, so by saying this, you are including so many things, so many of his points, so many of your points in just the first few sentences, which will make the rest of the minute sound more smooth because you already covered so much. Once again, guys, all of this that I'm saying is written down in my blog. The link of that is going to be in the description, so you can check it out. You don't have to pause the video. All of this is written down. So now you have the informal and formal versions. Let's go to the next sentence. Now I understand, this is for both versions, okay? Now I understand you prefer whatever, nevertheless, and then insert your argument. The next sentence. Well, actually, now it really depends. It really depends how much you have covered, if you actually do need another sentence. If you do, just keep going, use some good connectors. Furthermore, likewise, I don't think you would have many sentences after this because 1 minute runs quick and our initial sentences were pretty long. Okay, the last sentence, assuming you have finished, for both informal and formal situations is this one. Hoping I was able to make enough sense to get your agreement on this, what are your thoughts? Okay, so we're not finishing with the traditional take care, goodbye. We're saying what are your thoughts? We're showing the examiner we can finish with a question, we can finish with a different sort of variety. So we keep throwing variety and range of different sentences to the examiner. And that's your part 5. This will make it look really good. Great start, great finish, good comparison in the middle with that complex sentence where we have nevertheless. And that's a great recipe for a comparison question. A lot of times people forget that part 5 is a comparison question. So people just talk about their points and they don't compare, which is wrong. If you see the title of question 5, it's comparison and persuading. So you got to compare. Okay, let's go to speaking 6. Speaking 6 is a weird part because mostly it's about apology, right? So you were supposed to attend someone's birthday, you missed it, now you have to apologize. And you're given 2 options, you pick one. Sometimes though, this question has no relevance to the other tests. For example, there was one time the question said, suggest someone if they should dress formally, option 1, or informally, option 2. So in that case, if it's not an apology kind of situation, then this template will not work. So this question can be really different and we cannot expect what that would be. So we cannot make multiple templates, but assuming 80% of the times when this question is where you're in a difficult situation and you have to apologize and you have to make up for something, then you can follow this template. So hopefully you're one of those 80% majority and you will get this type of question. So you start with, hi, Chris, whatever the name is. So now I'm saying hi because I've said too much hey. Okay, so hi this time. Hi, Chris, it's been a while. All right, so again, different. We're not saying how are you again. We're not saying how's it going. We're saying it's been a while. Hi, Chris, it's been a while. Unfortunately, we are not meeting in the most ideal scenario. We're not meeting in the most ideal scenario. I have a bit of bad news to give you. Do you recall, and then talk about that event. Do you recall the invitation you sent me and I remember I should come here at this time, at this day, but I can't make it, whatever. And now you start giving your explanation. Now, an important thing here is to give an alternative. Okay, usually when you are in these situations, I messed up someone's day, I'll try to make it up, right? I'll try to say, look, I'm sorry for whatever happened, but let me do this for you. So this is the alternative. This is the compensation that we're giving the person. So now, once you finish all your story, like why you can't make it or whatever your apology is, Your next sentence is going to be, now before you get all sad and gloomy, let me tell you, okay, before you get all sad and gloomy, let me tell you that I can do this for you. You know, for example, I missed your birthday party, but let me tell you, I'm planning a Christmas party at your place, and it's going to be on my wallet. So I will throw this party for you. So we're trying to make the situation better. You say this, then your last sentence is going to be, once again, I sincerely apologize about whatever, but it is what it is, A. Now you're inserting A. So again, if you're in Canada, you know we do A. We do a lot of A's. It's like asking right or correct. And if you're outside of Canada, you should use this too, because it's going to make an even bigger impression if you know this term. And again, we're trying to sound native. So how you want to insert this is with this tone. Once again, I sincerely apologize about whatever, but it is what it is, eh? You know, just casually insert that, and it's not something immigrants do, and that's why if you do it, you're gonna sound awesome. You're gonna sound very unique. Anyway, at the end you finish with, talk soon. That's it. Talk soon, no take care, no goodbye. Again, keeping that variation. Now, let's go to speaking 7. Speaking 7 is the debate, right? Here's where you argue. You pick a point, you defend it, and you argue against the other point. A big problem here is people don't understand that it's a debate. So guys, when I say debate, it means you have to be assertive. You have to fight a little and show that you really believe in what you're saying. I'll show you a few words which will make that happen. So let's start with the first sentence, which is a complex one. I'm going to start this with even though. So now not a simple sentence. Right away, we're starting with a complex sentence, showing the examiner more variation. Okay, so even though I haven't given much thought to whatever, okay, let me assert that whatever, so let's pick a situation here. Let's say that we're talking about democracy. Should democracy be favored or not? And I support democracy, for example. So even though I haven't given much thought to democracy, let me assert that proper democratic rule should be the status quo based on 3 main factors. So now we're going to go up with our 3 main factors. Status quo means that it should be something that continues. So for example, right now we're saying vaccinations should be the status quo. It means they should continue. They shouldn't stop. Okay. Then we go firstly, secondly, thirdly. That's from our last template. You spend 20 seconds on each, firstly, secondly, thirdly. This time though, I'm going to insert some assertive points because that's where people are not, that's where people are not using the correct wordings. So what you guys want to use are these words. Firstly, it is imperative to understand. Go on. Secondly, the detractors. Detractors means people who are against you. So secondly, the detractors of this idea have one main issue, and that is, and now you criticize the other people who are against you. Thirdly, it is completely senseless to say. Okay, so strong words, like now you're opposing the other side. It's completely senseless to say that we shouldn't have a democracy, because if we say that, then we're supporting oligarchy, dictatorship, and all forms of oppression, etc. So you're being a little aggressive with these words, and that's what you need. This is not where you try to be the nice guy. Here's where you try to argue and show some intensity. So that's what we're doing here. It's a good change of tone as well, and we're showing the examiner we can do that. We can have versatility. Okay, the last sentence, this is also a very unique one. So you want to say at the end of all of that, did I make a mistake in my judgment? Probably. Nonetheless, in my personal view, democracy ought to really be implemented in order to now you sum up your point, in order to maintain stability and support majority decision making. Okay, so what I started with is a very fancy conclusion. I'm not saying something very, cliche. I'm not saying overall that's my main point. I'm saying, did I make a mistake on my judgment? Probably. Nonetheless, in my personal view, whatever. Okay, so this way you're showing the examiner that you are talking casually, like you're coming up with this, you haven't learned this somewhere, and you're very natural with your tone. Let's go to the last question. Okay, the last question is not much because it's always different. So let me start with the introduction. Introduction is something you guys can copy. So the starting is formal. Hi there, this is Sean. And then you continue with whatever your topic is. So hi there, this is me, and then continue. Informal is Usually it's a bad situation. So informally, you would say, Mary, we have a situation. And then you continue. So here we're not going with how are you and stuff. Again, we're trying to be a little different. We're trying to show variation. So it's assuming it's a panic situation. So you would be like, Mary, we have a situation. Or Mary, we have a surprise for you, and so on. Okay, so you start with that. The middle part, unfortunately, I don't have a template there. This question is always different. The picture is always completely different, and what they're asking you is always different. So there cannot be a template for this. You would have to improvise based on the exam. You know, sometimes you have a damaged car and you have to tow it away. Sometimes you have a beautiful painting and you're describing it to your art teacher. So it's completely different situations, which is why coming up with a template here is impossible. There's nothing here that I would say in the middle. I will say for the conclusion, also there's no word or there's no sentence that I can suggest because the question is so different. What I would say is read the question, because the question usually at the end points out what to do. So the call to action will be there. It will tell you, for example, with the broken car, it will say call a towing company. So at the end of that whole topic, you will say, all right, Dr. Hook Towing, please tell me how soon you can be here. Or with the painting, it will tell you that ask the art teacher if she approves of it. So at the end of that whole discussion, you would say, teacher, what do you think? Would you like my painting? I could really use it for the project. So, you know, it's always different. It's impossible to come up with a template for it. So just be aware of what the question says, follow that, use your grammar and vocab to help out. On top of that, now that we're done with all these topics for the 8 topics, on top of all this, whatever you fill in the middle is going to be the meat and bones of it. So with this structure, you'll be really good. It's going to be really effective. It's going to make a great impression. But if the middle content, the one that you're putting except for this, is not up to par, you will lose a lot of marks. So of course your English needs to be better. Your vocab, grammar needs to be on a very different level. For that, guys, you would need a teacher, and if you do, you will get proper feedback and detailed instructions. So if you guys are interested, you can always contact me. My email is always in the description. We organize lessons. We do your first session free, so you can make sure you like it, and we also do your assessment in that session for free. That way you can tell what you need, where you need to go, and how we can help you in that process. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you find these templates useful. Now you have all 8. Tune in for tomorrow because we're going to do our vocab lesson. If you subscribe, you'll get the notification as well. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a good day. Take care.